Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we're currently working our way out of debt. And while we're doing this, I kind of want to go on the offensive and attack somebody. I'm leaning towards Wandala here. So if we were to attack them, we would demand states like Darfur would be the one we'd probably start with. Yeah, let's do that. So let's get going on that, and then they're going to decline that, of course. We'll need to mobilize our armies and send them out there, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'll wait to do that until we're a little further along. I would like to take more states from them. I think for the moment, we would just go for, like, Chad here. That puts us at 16 infamy. I don't want to get too high on this. So let's go to also perhaps... maybe this should be it. This would bring us up to, yeah, I would go for Nigeria, because this is the lowest amount of infamy. I want to stay below, like, 25 infamy at this time. I don't want to cause any major waves, right? We don't want to make Portugal upset. We don't want to make France upset. We don't want to make Ukraine upset. So I think for now, this is all we're going to look to take. We'll stay below 25 infamy. I would go for Nigeria, but that's going to be an exclave. That said, we're colonizing down over here. But I'm still not going to go for it. We'll go for it next time, maybe. So for now, that's all we're going to do, and that seems okay. So I don't see a reason at this time to raise up our armies just yet. We'll get to that. I do want to make Chad a primary demand. So we'll do that. That brings us up to 19 infamy. Yeah, we'll let that sit. So we'll just keep it a little cautious, work our way through this. We'll fight little guys here and there, and that's the overall plan at this point. So for now, we're working on paying off that debt, and I do expect that we're going to be net negative once we get our troops raised up. Now, we're not fully done building up these armies yet, but this will be a good test of our new armies, so that seems good. And we're paying off this debt reasonably quickly. Multiculturalism had a success roll there. Okay. So we're now voting, and that might pass, but we've had awkward rolls on this. We'll see what happens with it. So, once we reach about halfway here, that's when I'm going to send our armies out. I know we've got vulnerable fronts right now, but I'm just waiting until this diplomatic play is half done with the escalation, which is now. So now is when we'll send our armies out. And we'll just send one army to... Hang on. That was not the button I wanted. One army to each of these fronts is the idea. And this is going to be overkill, but the question is by how much? And how much is this going to cost us? So we're mobilizing that on up, and off they go. We're still positive for now. Are we going to remain positive? No. Okay, that's fine. Absolutely A-okay. We see a net negative on ammunition. Okay. That's a 193 malice at this point. So now that we know that, we definitely want to get some munitions plants going here. Each of these is 90 per level. So if we were to make just 3 of these, that would solve the problem. Done. I put those at the top of the queue. And I'm going to start building. This is going to be a huge deficit that we're going to run here. That's understood. I want to get those ammunitions plants built. So we're going to get these built up, and we'll just work on our power plants in the meantime. Once that's all finished, then we can pause our construction again, and we should be done with this war by then as well. That's the idea anyway. So we're moving into position here. We got another debate success there. That's great. And one of our armies has 0% attrition. Great. Thanks for telling me that we're not taking attrition. Fantastic. So yeah, we're going to be running an absolutely enormous deficit here. This army isn't exactly in position yet, and this war is about to break out. Okay, so the war broke out. I'm a little surprised they didn't just concede, to be honest. But okay. So the war will be over quite shortly here, no doubt about it. Our forces are all in position at this time, and as you can see, we're just crushing them. And that's fully expected. So that's absolutely great. So we're just going to wait for our prestige to drop a bit before we do any other attacks. I see that these guys are currently heading back to HQ. We could early demobilize them, or we could just say, you know what, this war is basically over. And that's, I think, the argument that I'm going to make here. This war is pretty much over. Multiculturalism passed. So that's a good thing for us, for sure. Okay, that's all looking great. And we've just got this one front left over here at this point. I'm not sure where these guys are going, but they're going there. Okay. Cool. So there's all that dealt with. We're now just down at this front, and this war is functionally over. They're not ready to give up just yet, but it's really close. There we go. So these battles are going nicely. They're down to 58 war support at this point. Like, yeah, they're just getting crushed. And we expected that. That was absolutely expected. We're slightly negative on bureaucracy right now, and that is noted. I'm going to build a government administration in Syria. This can go up to 50 right now, right? Yes. I'm going to build a single government administration in Syria. So we'll get that going, and we'll just continue to construct until those munitions plants are completed. Because we know that that's what we need to run our military, and that's absolutely fine. So that looks good for the moment. We're going to finish up that construction. Only 9 more weeks of construction. We're running a surplus right now. I guess there's a lot of private constructions going on right now. I'll take running a surplus. That's fantastic. So, Philosopher Kings. Yes, but this is just Philosopher minus. We are Philosopher minus. Perfect. Okay, so we've got some of these states out over here that we just conquered, right? And this state needs to be incorporated. We can do that. This is an incorporated state. So that looks good. We're definitely going to need to have... There is a power plant here, and there is a railway here. Okay. In Darfur, we're going to need at least 1 power plant, and we're going to need at least 1 railway. These constructions are slow. Minus 77% construction efficiency and minus 95% construction efficiency. Okay. I'm going to do it, but it's going to be rough. And we're not going to prioritize getting that done before we pause construction. That said, we're running a surplus right now. So I have to ask the question, is there a reason to pause construction? Also, I'm going to build 3 government administrations in Syria and max out our economy of scale there. We're still negative in our bureaucracy, and I want to get that fixed. So the railway and the power plant in Darfur, those are long-term projects, and they're very inefficient. We will get them done eventually, but it's going to be a very long time. So that's absolutely understood. We're now going to chill until our infamy drops down a bit. I wouldn't mind attacking someone like Kairouan, actually. These guys would be a good target for us next. How much infamy would it be? 3.4? That's not a lot of infamy, is it? It doesn't look like anyone will be interested in joining. We know that Portugal's at war with Ukraine. Maybe they just accept. They did not. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm going to mobilize 1 army, but we'll wait until we are a little further along to do that. I don't think we need to do anything else here. So we'll just let our infamy decay, and that seems fine. Yes, I'm aware that this is a disadvantaged front. We'll get to it. So I don't suspect currently that anyone will join in on this. We just need to be a little cautious, right? So we see that we're starting to be a little slower on our repayment of our debt right now. We're still running a surplus, so for the moment, I'm absolutely okay with this. This railway in Darfur is now doing a lot better. It's not great, but it's doing better. Okay, now we're running a deficit, and the question is, do we want to Confederation of the Equator? I have no idea what the Confederation of the Equator is. Oh, it's Brazil. Okay, noted. So that's interesting. At the moment, I'm going to continue to work on construction here. We're not running a huge deficit, and our interest payments are only at about 2K. So I'd like to get through all of these power plants that we have in the queue here, and there's a lot of things in the queue that I would like to get through. So we'll continue to work on that for now, and we're not tracking any significant issues, although market access in Syria is low. That's odd. Is this an infrastructure issue? Most likely, yes, that is an infrastructure issue. So we need to go to Syria. There are 4 railways queued up here. Okay. That's sufficient. But how many of those are our queues? So we need to look in here and find Syria in this. Here's 1. Any other Syrias? 2. Any other Syrias? Here's 3. And presumably there's a 4th in here somewhere. 4. Okay. Now there was another location that we needed to move 1 up, and that's Deir ez-Zor. So let's check for a Deir ez-Zor construction, because that needs to be brought up in infrastructure as well. So that is here. Done. So we need to get those constructions completed, and we are going to get those done at the very least before we pause our construction here. Okay. We need to get this diplomatic play under control. We don't have anyone out over here, and we need to get an army over here immediately. We're already past halfway. So that's understood. Oil has been discovered in Luristan. That's absolutely fine, and we are okay with that. So we're heading on over. Looks like we'll arrive in time, so that's good. And there don't appear to be any major problems there right now. So we'll get that taken care of, no problem whatsoever. I'd like to get Maghreb taken over. They're genial towards us. We can't attack them without harming relations first. We'll see. That's going to be a fair amount of infamy. We should probably chill after this. So that seems relatively fine. That war has broken out. I expect that war to be over basically instantly. I don't expect much for problems there. So at this moment, yeah, I want to get these railways completed first before we do anything else here for sure. We've got an electricity shortage in Kordofan and Sardinia. The question is, do we have power plants queued up there? And the answer is no. So we should do a power plant in Kordofan and Sardinia if that's actually an issue. So let's check in here. No. And no, we just need to employ. Okay, so that seems fine. There we go. We managed to take this over, no problem. And that is a completed war. Perfect. Not all of our construction sectors are on the same base production method. Let's change that. They're now all on steel frame buildings. Perfect. Okay. So I plan to construct for 14 more weeks here at the bare minimum. I also want to go into these new states. This should be under... Where is it these days? I think it's under political lens state actions. Yes. I want to reset the production methods in Chad and Darfur. There we go. So we'll get those done. and we'll get that all incorporated up. That will be absolutely fine. So our GDP is number 4 at this moment. We've slipped a little bit on that front. That's understood. So our power plant in Darfur is going to be done here in 1 week. That looks good. And we really need those railways in Syria. This is costing us a lot of GDP at this moment. So we absolutely need to handle that. That is top priority at this moment. So how long do we have in our construction queue? 4 years? Okay, so this is going to take about a year to complete in Darfur. This is fine. This is a long-term project. I don't mind it. Everything else is quite efficient, and that looks good. So yeah, about 8 more weeks here until we get all that done. So it's going to be a while until our infamy drops down at 0.12 per week. That's not too bad. It's going to take a little bit, but we'll work that down, and we'll probably start attacking someone out over here. Maybe a war with Ethiopia would be a good idea. Actually, kinda. But we'll wait to do that until after our infamy is down for sure. We're going to need a lot of infamy. Because we'd like to kick them off of the Arabian Peninsula, but we'd also like to take territory over here. They have a lot of states. So this is not going to be one singular war. That's for sure. They just claimed Hijaz. They have sealed their fate. Ethiopia is our target now. Can we, like, rival them? Diplomatic actions. We could expel their diplomats, but that'll boost our infamy, and I don't see a reason to do that. We don't appear to be able to rival them, but I would like to do so. So for now, this is absolutely fine. We just finished up all of those railways over in Syria, so our market access in Syria should be boosting at this point. Yeah, it went up to 62. It was at 60. So in Deir ez-Zor, that market access should be coming up as well. 67 in Syria. Okay, let's take a look at Syria here. Using 298 of 199. So we just need to get the railway over here. To be honest, we have to subsidize this. That's the issue. So over in Deir ez-Zor, where is that? As Deir ez-Zor. That's how it's spelled. Right up over here. Is this the same scenario? Yes, we just need to subsidize that railway. Okay, so we'll do that. That's fine. It will cost us some money, but we'll definitely get going on that. Okay, so that seems fine for now. That should solve our market access issues. Deir ez-Zor is fixed, and Syria should be fixed shortly. Yes, just slowly rising up. Looks good. Okay, so we have a new president, and this guy is of the trade unions as well. Okay. We should get a law change going, shouldn't we? The question is, what law change? Well, we could actually go to compulsory primary school, and I would love to do this. Do it. We'll get going on that one. We really need to get our education up. So plastics has been unlocked, and I do think that plastics is a useful thing for us. We could do, like, nitrogen fixation, or we could go into the military tree and start working on stuff in here. Like, for example, trench works. Let's do it. So that seems good. I would like to start getting some trench infantry rolling. And speaking of which, can we upgrade our military type here? So we've got these as skirmish infantry right now. That is the best that they can be. Okay. So that's noted. I'm going to reduce the conscripts here down to 0. And this unit of infantry I'm going to get rid of. There we go. So this is now correct. That looks good. This one, we haven't managed to recruit up this cavalry unit yet. We'll get there, I'm sure. But for now, that seems fine. So let's continue our construction for the moment. I'm actually quite pleased with this. We're working very heavily on paper mills right now, and paper is not actually that expensive. Our workplace safety office went up to 5. That's huge. Can we get more universities going here? Nope. Okay, so there's no point in building additional universities at this time, so I'm going to move these universities down. And I'm thinking about canceling these railways. Yeah, I'm going to cancel the railways for the time being. The next question is, do we actually need all these paper mills? The answer is probably not, if I had to guess. So let's get all of these canceled for now. This is a significant chunk of our construction queue, and I'm actually going to cancel these universities as well. This one has not been started. I'll cancel that. Okay, for now, that's fine. So that brings us down to 10 months in our construction queue. I would love to get through the paper mills that we have here, and I think we should do it. So I'm looking at our deficit here, and it's not huge. I'm pretty pleased with it. We do have expensive engines and glass, but I want to go into our production methods on glass. We can go from crystal glass to houseware plastics, which is going to spike the price of porcelain and tank the price of glass. So if we then went to bone china, like this, that's going to cause a shock to our economy. But in what way? We see immediately that oil is quite expensive, and I would like to start harvesting some of this oil. So let's sort by earnings. Okay. That's a lot of oil that we have access to. Beautiful. So at this point, we can build so much oil production. And I'm putting this in at the top of the queue right now. This is going to drop down below production of these guys pretty soon. But there's Niger completely maxed out in its oil production at this point. And Baghdad is going to continue to work its way through this. Yeah, we can get these built very quickly, and this is going to be very, very valuable for us. So let's get Baghdad maxed out. Let's get Dongola maxed out. And then everything else is currently negative in the projections, so that seems good. But these do build quite quickly. I want to come in and move up at least these paper mills and our railway in Darfur. So it'll be something kind of like that. Okay. Noted. But I do want to get that oil production underway. That will be very, very useful for us. So we stalled right away on compulsory primary school. That is unfortunate luck there. We can take the bureaucracy hit. It's going to be very significant, and we're not necessarily shocked about that. Let's build in Campania 6 government administrations. That will be enough to at least help somewhat. We'll see how much. So paper is, of course, still a concern, and we'll work our way through that. We've got this big old bureaucracy deficit right now, and we have to get that handled. That's mission number 1 at this point. So at 13 infamy, we will continue to expand soon. This is interesting. We can't intervene in this. Looks like we were too late to intervene. Unfortunate. I wish I had noticed this, but I did not. Very sad. Okay, so we're going to finish up some of these paper mills. And then we're going to get started on our oil rigs. And that is, of course, going to be absolutely phenomenal for us. We need to get some dyes going. Paper is expensive. Engines are expensive. That's all A-okay. So private construction is building quite a few engines at this point, so that seems good. It's also working on some steel mills. That seems okay too. So we hit a debate this time, and we'll take that sweet, sweet 10% enactment success chance. Beautiful. So that brings us up to 35. Our most likely outcome now is success whenever we roll. The Ottoman Empire is improving relations with us. I did not realize that there was an Ottoman Empire. Okay. Good to know. I don't know where they are. They don't appear to be in standard Ottoman areas. I guess they're up over here. So they are in Turkey. Interesting. They're just kind of covered up by this right now. Well, plastic production. Yes, plastic is indeed the future. There we go. So we're going to be finishing up these paper mills very soon. I'm really not terribly impressed by this deficit that we've got going on right now. It's really not too bad. I'm putting in 5 more government administrations in Palestine because we need to knock back this bureaucracy some. This is not going to be enough, but it will definitely help take a chunk out of it. We need to build quite a lot more government administrations to deal with the pain of that stall, but it's fine. We'll get there. We are, of course, going to be able to use this. Wow, another stall roll. That's very unfortunate. Can we set back? I mean, yeah. That's another bureaucracy hit, though. Bad luck. Bad luck. Oh, well. For now, of course, we're finishing up these paper mills. We finished up some government administrations, and we're going to need more. I'm going to queue up Palestine all the way up to 50. I'm going to take this to plus 15. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, it's going to take us some time to get that built, but that's okay. I want this railway in Darfur to be top priority, but other than that, work on the government administrations for now. It is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to work on getting some of this production underway here. That'll be absolutely great to do, and hopefully passing compulsory primary school. We'll see what happens with that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge, STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.